Happy Wisdom Wednesday. So today, looking outside has been my biggest motivation. Today I look outside and I'll see, got my computer here. I don't know if you can, well, you can see, yeah. So you can see the trees, of course, and trees are, I mean, there's still some leaves there on a few, definitely, but there's one right there that has got a few sort of like hanging yellow leaves on it left, but for the most part, that's looking like a pretty empty tree. And every year, um, without fail, I'm always really amazed by seasons, and I've really kind of tapped into the seasons. I'd say in the last like 4 years of my life, I've really started to like pay attention to cycles and see what the benefit is in and what sort of the message is in each cycle. Because I find there's always like a little nugget of wisdom in each season. And so, of course, we're in fall right now, but it's sort of like late fall. And what I always say is like the winter witch is coming. Like she's kind of creeping on us right now. And of course, there's that feeling of like, oh, she's creeping, like it's getting colder. There's obviously the tendency to maybe feel a little more depressed, to feel a little bit low because it's darker, we're getting less light, less vitamin D. Of course, there's lots of solutions to that. I could go on. I mean, I take vitamin D myself. I eat a plant-based diet to get more, nutrients and vitamins through plants, and that really helps me actually to not feel so sad and down in the winter. But one thing I really like when I was looking at that tree and gazing out my window, not even like maybe just yesterday, it was golden. It was full of just bright yellow leaves, and it was like shining at me, and it was really beautiful. And then today I woke up and they were all gone. It was like the wind just blew them away, and it's been really actually quite beautiful to watch the season, to see the season unfold and to watch, how this sort of the dance of leaves as they kind of spiral in the air and almost like a leaf tornado. And there's something very romantic and nostalgic about this season. One thing that I really take from trees when I see them losing their leaves is they're, of course, very bare. And all of a sudden, they've lost all that foliage and all that beauty that we so admire for so much, such a good part of the year from about, April until now. It's like a solid 6 months of seeing that all of a sudden they're bare. And it's kind of shocking, I think, on the system to, like, if you really just stop and look around, you start to see more and more bare trees. And of course, there's that feeling in us like something, for me, it reflects back to me that like something's been stripped away. Um, but it also, and it does do that. And, based on the grieving I'm doing lately, I'm obviously having to pay attention to that twofold. And look at what's been stripped away in many ways, but also it helps me to see truth. And truth was the word that came up when I looked at that tree just now. Um, yeah, just truth. I don't know why. I think it's behind what you see on people, for example. We see clothing and we see jewelry and we see a personality they put out into the world, but do we really see what's underneath? And I was talking to a friend today, and she was telling me her story and some of the things that she's lived in her life, and she really inspired me. Some adverse experiences that she's had, and I was really, really inspired by her, and it was really beautiful to see some of her truth come out. And we were talking about how sometimes we keep our truth in, thinking that we're a lot safer if we keep it in. And we think, well, if I just shield this away from the world, I'll feel safer. And sometimes we don't even know we're trying to keep ourselves safe. Sometimes that's just normalized behavior. I'm just going to keep this in, and that's how I'm going to live my life, and that's it. And it feels easy. And then maybe something smashes into your life. It could be a traumatic event, it could be an adverse event, and it kind of shakes us and it wakes us up to really look at things that have happened in our life that we may have been keeping inside that we're not sharing. with the world, and then all of a sudden the truth is there to bear, and we maybe feel like that tree. We have no armor, we have nothing to cover us and keep us warm anymore, but yet we are our most beautiful selves because all of a sudden our story is out, and we might start to discover that other people around us have gone through the same thing. Or maybe if they haven't, it's something similar, or they maybe are just inspired to talk about their truth. It's a completely different story, but they just see you saying what you lived. And I just think it's really powerful, the humanity, the human life, nature, and how like they mimic each other and they mirror each other, and how our truth is always kind of lying there in front of us, waiting to be shared and inspire people. So I hope this video just inspires you to go out there in the world and share your truth. And don't be afraid to put it out there, things that you've experienced, that you've gone through, because you never know what other soul out there you could be helping. And maybe take a minute to walk around the city or wherever you live and take a look at the trees. If you're in the northern hemisphere and it's fall and the trees are leaving the trees, or the leaves are leaving the trees, remember that it's not necessarily a bad thing, that the trees are just trying to show us who they really are. And that there's beauty in bare skin, right? There's beauty in feeling naked. There's beauty in vulnerability. And that trees don't try. They just do. I always love to look at nature and look at how nature doesn't make an effort to be nature. Nature just does. Rivers just run. Birds just call out to us and sing their song. Reeds sway in the wind, and they don't try, they just do. And so maybe that will be a little nugget of inspiration as we move into the darker seasons, to live with your truth and to use nature as your mirror and as something to nourish you. Happy Wisdom Wednesday.